Hey, how's it going, guys? All right, so in the last video, we were able to set up our the client registration functionality, and so we are then now able to successfully register a client or a customer within our database. So now in this video, what we're going to be focusing on is the authentication process. So now, if you remember within the first video, or the video where we designed the login form, all we did was the validations. And so in this video, we're gonna complete that part of the application, and we're gonna be authenticating users. All right. So now the first thing I need to do is come in here within the authentication, within the authentication, what you call it, controller. All right. So first thing I need to do is, let me just type out that comment over there. All right, so the first thing I need to do is, because we have two types of users within the system, the admins and the client. The first thing I need to do is get the set up a variable to check for the user type. So for that, what I'll do is I'm gonna say user. Um, uh, so the field that I'm looking for is the user type field. All right, and then here, how I'm gonna check for that, I'm gonna say where email, uh, where email equals to the what you call it, the email that the user has provided via the login form. So that's how I'm gonna get it. So okay, so now to validate against this, I'm gonna use a switch statement for that. So here, right underneath it, what I'm gonna do is all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say switch. So then within here, that's where we're gonna put in. That's where we're gonna check for our user type. In fact, to see if or let's just dive and dump and see if we are getting that user type before we do anything. So I want to say user type. So far within the system, we only have one user, which is Stephen Edwards over there, and he's a client user type. So it should give us this value here. All right. So the first thing I need to do is run the server itself. Okay, so the server should be running, and then uh, first thing I need to do is go to the login form. Okay, so the email that we're gonna need is this one. So since we're using the email to get the user type, that's the email that I need. So for the password is not gonna matter. The What's important is that uh, whatever. All right, so let's log in. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot to actually import the user model. So say use. All right, I'm gonna resubmit that form again. All right, as you can see, we are getting that value that I set. The client, the user type value, which is client. All right, so that should be fine. I can get rid of this now. Okay, so the first one is we're gonna say case, and then if it's admin, then this is where we will get to validate our user. So I'll say if, right, say auth attempt. All right, so here this is where we'll put in our request. Oh, actually, let me just copy that, and then the password field. All right, so let me just explain this briefly. So the auth attempt is the function that it's a class within Laravel that we use, or it's mostly used to authenticate against let's say login forms. So with this, what it's gonna do is it's gonna attempt to authenticate the email and the password that the user has provided via the login form with the email and password that's stored within the database. So that field over there needs to be exactly the same as what's in your user table. Otherwise, if it was, let's say, something like username instead of email, then you would type username there and then password, etc. Right. So this auth facade over here, it gives us quite a lot of things, but I will explain the rest of them as we go on. So remember, when you want to authenticate using this auth facade, it has to be within this attempt method over here, and then you put in an array of data to authenticate against whatever input fields. So the first thing I need to do is import it here, otherwise it's going to give us issues. So I'm going to say use, I believe it's illuminate, I think it supports, and then I think facades, and then auth. Okay, so with this here, oh yeah, but by the way, the other thing that we need to get is the verified field. So as you can see here, the verified column here is set to 0. So this is for users who have not yet verified their user account via email and so forth. But we will get to this at a later stage. So what I'll do now is I'll say if the information the user has provided here is successful, if it's correct, then what we can do now is I'm going to say verified or equal to user where get the value there. Uh, very right. So what we're trying to do there is the exact same thing we're doing here is to get the value of that particular field. So we are looking for that value there. So let me just make sure I get it correctly. All right. So we're gonna use it. We're gonna get it via the email field. So I'll say email is equals to that email that the user has provided us, which should be authenticated by here. If not, obviously it's gonna give an error. So here I'll say right. So verified, and then So within here, what we'll do is we'll add another if statement, right? So we'll say if um, verified is equal to, or is not equal to 0, then what we'll do here is return redirect, and then what we're gonna get is the route to the admin dashboard, right? So since we are validating the admin, so it's admin dot dashboard. Right, so what we're doing here is we are checking if this account is not equal to 0. If it's equal to 1, then proceed to redirect the user to the admin dashboard. And then, right, so yeah, we redirect the user to the admin dashboard. Otherwise, if the details that the user has provided over here is incorrect, we're gonna say return redirect. Um, I'm gonna say back with an error message, and then we will say login failed, and say incorrect username, username, email, or password. All right, so okay, so let me explain again. So we're checking the user type. If it's admin, then we authenticate that user here. And then if it's a client, then this is where we have to create the next case statement. So let me just make this comment on here. All right, so now we do another case statement over here, which is going to be client. All right, so I'm going to copy here. Basically going to do the exact same thing. All right, so um, again, I'm going to explain one last time. So we're first getting the user type, right? Or using that email that the client or the user has provided us, right? And then we are checking that user type. If the user type is admin, run this particular authentication process here. Otherwise, run this one over here. So obviously, we have to change that from admin to client. So it'll then redirect the user back. Based on the user type, it will redirect them to to their respective dashboards, of which in this case is going to be dashboard, client dashboard, or admin dashboard. Now, obviously, if let's say the user is providing an email, maybe let's say an email that's not registered, we then have to give them a default, what you call it, message over here. So we'll say default, and then we'll say um, we'll just redirect them back to the login form and say uh, or actually no, we'll just say something um, no, contact your administrator. All right, so Yeah. So if let's say they give us an email, but that doesn't exist, obviously it won't find that user type if there's an email, if the email doesn't exist within the database. And so if that's the case, it'll use this particular error message over here. Okay. So I think we can test. Um, oh, actually we need to set up those error messages there in the login plate or login page. So over here, um, I think let's just do it over here. So we're gonna say if session, and what was those error messages? It was login failed, right? So we're gonna create a div there. So it's gonna be alerts and alerts danger or text center, and I'm also gonna give it a border, and then the border is gonna be danger. All right. By the way, this chaining of classes over here is due to Emmet. As you can see there, it's a plugin that you can install in VS Code. So it makes it easy to just write HTML elements. So I'm going to press enter, and then in bold, I'm going to display the message and say, obviously, we're going to display the message that's contained within that session method. So I'll say session and then login failed. All right. So, oh, by the way, since we are verifying whether or not the user is verified or not, we can set up an error page here within our blade. Um, for example, I'll say, um, yeah, let's just do that quickly. Sorry about that, guys. So, uh, obviously, I'm gonna say not verified, right? And then the message will be this account is not yet very. Please check your email and your or contact your administrator. Let me just close this here. So that's our message there. So let me just copy this part over here and then paste it here as well. Okay. And then we can quickly create that error page there. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, let's just quickly create it, which is going to be here within the. So what I'll do is I'll take the login form and use that as our skeleton because it already has some styling that I want to use. So I'll paste it there, and then uh, what I'll delete is everything under the form. Or actually, no, yeah, everything from the phone, and then the card body will stay the same. Uh, that heading over there will stay the same, and then what we will do then is type out the error message over here. let me give this and then border. Actually, you know what? Let's leave that. So here we will do a card text. Okay, so we'll say p dot card text, and then okay, so we'll say session, and then obviously that's going to access that by our variable there. We'll say not verified. So we basically accessing um, this message over here. So now we also need to create a route for that error page. So within the routes folder there, you go to web, and then just gonna copy that, and we'll just say error, and then get error, and then within the authentication, um, so we'll say public function get error. So we'll say return view, and since it's sitting within the root directory, we just have to say error. Unexpected public. Oh, apologies for that. It's supposed to go underneath there. Okay. All right. So just to be sure, get error. That's the, well, this function is only going to return the error page, which is the one we just created down here. And so then we will access whatever error messages we need to display here within the error page under the card text over there. Now to also make this, I'm also going to give it an alert, change of color. All right, so just reload this quickly. So if it should, since Steven is not yet verified, it should redirect us back to the error page that we created. And then I'll say, I think the password was password 123. So hopefully if I did everything right, okay, redirect with does not exist. Oh, sorry about that. Routes, we'll just say error, and then that's fine, that's fine. We need to do the same up here. So if I reload this, it should send us to the error page. Uh, Apologies again. It's supposed to be a get request, not post. All right. One last time. Okay, so let's go back to the login and try again. Why is it not displaying the error? Let me just check this quickly. All right, error, get error, not verified. Okay, apologies again. I put it in the wrong method over there. Let me just double check this. Yeah, that should be fine. What is this thing doing? Let me just check here. All right, it was a spelling error over there. Let me change that, and we can remove these ones here. Okay, one last time. Okay, so now we're getting our error over there. This account is not yet verified. Please check your email, etc., etc. Maybe I should also add a button over there. I'm gonna put it right underneath there and say, and then in here I'm gonna create a back button. So I'm gonna say route, and I'll say login, and then class is gonna be btn sm, and then btn doc. Okay, let's see if it shows now. Oh, I didn't link the font awesome style sheets, so it's gonna be asset, and it's gonna be css css and then all.css. Okay, so here we have our back button. So if you click there, it should take us to the login page. All right, so um, let's test out and see if I put in the wrong password, is it gonna display or not? Okay, as you can see, um, um, I put in the incorrect password and our incorrect username or password message is not displayed. So now the only thing left to test is to what you call it is to change the what you call it change this verified field to one so that we can see if it's gonna redirect us to the client dashboard. So what I'm gonna do is user okay, you can check there. He's now verified and set to one. So now what we can do is we say Steven call minus and say password 3. And if I say login, oh, I don't think I did create the client dashboard. Oh yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't create the client dashboard, but in any case, what we can do is, you know what? Yeah, let me just create it quickly. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did here with the admin routes. Place it there. Change that from client, from admin to client, and then we have to create a controller for that. So what I can do is php artisan make controller, and then I'll say client controller, and then I'll change this over here to change that to client. So it should give us this dashboard over here, but then we also need to create a method in here for get dashboard in the client controller so that we can get that view. Um, so so for now I'm gonna say return, and then I'll say logged in as client. All right. And so when we log in, it should give us this message over here on the client dashboard. We will create the view at a later stage, but for now, just so that we see that we are authenticating, we should be able to see that message. So I'll go back and just refresh here. So just to be sure that I've done everything correctly, I'm gonna delete these ones. So it should give us client.dashboards. We are getting it there. All right, and then all right. So let's try again. Say Steven. All right, so as you can see, we are now logged in as client, as client, and as you can see, the route over there is client then slash dashboard, which is exactly what we are getting over here. All right, so yeah, guys, that's it for the video. Like I said, Laravel comes with all kinds of features and whatnot. You don't necessarily have to use your own authentication method, but I just wanted to show you that it is possible to do it with Laravel using some, or it is possible to do a mixture of things with Laravel, and that's how flexible it is. So, but yeah, um, I I prefer doing it my own way. I don't know if in a production application I would do it this way. I'm still again exploring this particular framework, but yeah, that's how. If you wanted to do an authentic, if you wanted to do your own validations, this is one way of doing it, and yeah, you can try your own if you have any ideas and so forth. So I think that should be it. By the way, I don't think I did show you if the this error message does display or not within the login form. So what I want to do here, login failed. Let me just see something here. Okay, it's using the same error. So uh, the, I wanted to test. I wanted to show you if you try and log in with an email that doesn't exist within the database. Um, I'll just type whatever, and then you say login. All right, so can you see there? Because that email is not within our application, it gave us that something went wrong. Contact your administrator. I made a spelling mistake there. But as you saw there, if the user is using an email that doesn't exist, we then at the very least can give them that default error message, and then yeah, we should be able to continue from there. In any case, guys, thanks again for watching. Within the next video, we should be working on creating the views for the client. So far, we only have for the admin, so we should be able to create. We should be gonna start working on the views or the client part of the application, and we'll be continuing from there. All right, guys. So again, thanks for watching. For those of you who haven't done so already, please like and share, subscribe. If you've liked what you've seen so far, and I'll be seeing you guys within the next video. Cheers for now.